Hey guys, this is Tina, and I'm going to show you how I wasted $250 in 1 week eating out. Now, this was the week between Christmas and the first day of the new year. As I'm talking, you'll see some pictures scroll across the screen, and this is basically what happened. Or as they would say, what happened was I went out first. I went out with my friend after Christmas because one of my Christmas gifts was late. So she wanted to go out. So we wanted to go to Boba at first, but the Boba place was closed. So we ended up in a Mexican restaurant. And at that Mexican restaurant, we had drinks and we had food. Now, I typically don't drink when I go out, but since it was the quote-unquote holiday, I decided to have a drink, which was like the sangria. And she had something, I don't know what they were calling it, but it was the very first drink that you saw at the beginning of the video. So then after that, I ended up getting the taquitos. It was 4 taquitos, but I didn't realize to take the picture until afterwards. So when I took the picture, it was only 3 because I had 8 one. But since I was there and I had chips and salsa, you know how it is at Mexican restaurants, I got full relatively quickly, and I didn't get a chance to eat my taquitos. So I ended up taking 3 of the 4 taquitos home. But I just felt like the taquitos were missing something. I felt like the flavors just weren't 100% right. I felt like it was kind of dry. And then I packed them up too soon. They were still basically hot, and it just didn't make for good leftovers. So, but I ended up going so much over budget because my friend ordered food, but then she also ordered food to go. And I ended up just saying I'll treat. So I ended up spending about $100 at the Mexican restaurant, including the tip and all of the food. So that was kind of pricey for like, and it wasn't like a standalone Mexican restaurant. It was like a strip mall Mexican restaurant. So it was kind of pricey. And if I would have went by myself, I mean, the taquitos and the drink, I maybe would have spent like $25. Because the drink wasn't that expensive. So I maybe would have spent like $25. So I spent like 4 times as much as I needed to spend going out there. But you know what they say, can you really put a price on friendship? I mean, maybe you can. Okay, so then after that, I went to, well, not immediately after that, but like a few days later, I went to Cake Bake. And I wanted to go to Cake Bake just because I'm kind of nostalgic. But I went there last year around Christmas time, so I wanted to go back there again around Christmas time, but I wanted to go to a different location, the location that had more food items on their menu, which was a total waste because I didn't really end up getting anything different. Well, I did get something different, but I didn't really get any of the items that I went there to get. So, I was a little bummed about Cake Bake because when I got there, the last time I went, I had some type of coffee drink. I'm not sure what it was. It might have just been plain coffee. But when I got there, the waitress said that the coffee, the espresso machine or something was broke. So a lot of the coffee-like drinks you couldn't have. So that was like my first strike, and I was like, okay. So I ended up getting, so this time when I went, I ended up getting the chicken soup, like the Ellis Ayers chicken soup that I had at the other location, but it didn't taste the same. It didn't taste the way I remembered it, which I was a little disappointed in. It tasted good, but it just didn't quite taste the same. I'm pretty sure it was the medicine that made it not taste the same. But then after the soup, I ended up getting the salad, the green goddess salad, and I think it was like green goddess Cobb salad. But it ended up, I just felt like something was missing with that as well. I think it might have been dressing. I might have felt that it didn't have enough dressing. I'm not 100% sure, but I just felt something was off about it. And then since I was dissatisfied with the salad, I ended up getting the frites. Now the frites were good. I don't have any complaints about the frites. They were pretty good. I felt like they were a little overly salty, but that's how I felt about restaurant food before I even started on the compounded temperatures appetite. I feel like a lot of it is extra salty. Now, I don't know if it's salty because they're trying to appeal to a large group of people, or if it's salty because they're trying to encourage you to buy beverages. That part I haven't 100% figured out, but I felt like it's definitely more salty than the food that I would make at home. But even though they were a little salty, they were good. And then I think after that, I should have started off first. I ended up getting that petunia punch. So that's the drink that you see with the little flower in it. And it wasn't bad. It had guava and something else. But I think that drink was like $8 or $9. And I don't even think it had any alcohol. Maybe it wasn't $8 or $9. Maybe it was like 6 or 7. I don't know. But it didn't have any alcohol in it. But it tasted okay. But the guava was very forward. You could really taste the guava in it. What else about that? And then my aunt, I went with my aunt, and she got the gumbo, and she got the chicken piccata. But the problem is also that I chose items that couldn't really be, that weren't good leftovers. Like the salad, I didn't eat all of the salad. I probably only ate, I want to say maybe like a quarter of the salad. But then, maybe I ate more like a third of the salad. But when I went back to eat the salad the next day, it was all watery and the lettuce just wasn't a good texture, and I had to end up throwing it away. And then the frites, I tried to reheat them in my Ninja Speedy, like using like the air fryer setting, but a lot of them got burnt too. So, excuse me. So, at the end of the day, the items that I chose weren't really, they didn't really make good leftovers. But, and then the horrible part about it was I ended up getting cake, and the cake, I got red velvet is kind of like one of my favorites. So I figure like wherever I can go, I can get red velvet if they don't have anything else, because it's like my safety cake. But I felt like the cake was dry. Now, I don't know if it really was dry, but in my mind, I felt it was dry. But since I was on compounded tirzepatide, I couldn't even eat the cake there anyway, because I was already full at that point. So I got the cake to go. But when I got home, I felt like it was dry. So I didn't even end up eating all of the cake either. So basically, I had to throw away the frites, the salad, and like half of the cake. So that really was a waste of money. And then, since that restaurant is much more expensive, I'm so sorry, you guys, but my recording got cut off. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So all of that talking I was doing, you guys missed it. But basically, I was saying that, I believe I was saying, since that restaurant was more expensive, the tip the tip percentage was, well, the tip percentage wasn't more expensive, but the tip amount was much more expensive. And I don't necessarily think that the tip that I gave was really earned. And um, and I feel bad about not tipping like the amounts that they say at the bottom. But also, I think in 2025, I need to start tipping based on the level of service that I receive. I don't necessarily, I feel like it's my responsibility to tip the 20% or what have you that they put down there, but sometimes the level of service doesn't warrant that tip. So I need to be more, I need to think more carefully about the tips that I give in the new year to make sure that, tips should be a supplement. It shouldn't be like, your main thing, even though it is a lot of the times, but that's an argument for another day. I feel like the employers or restaurateurs or whatever you want to call them should be made responsible to pay their employees a living wage. I'm not saying that these people don't deserve a living wage, but I'm just saying I don't know that it's my responsibility to try to supplement their income so they can get it and necessarily give people tips that they don't necessarily deserve. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what this video is about. The video is about how I wasted my money. And basically, I overpaid because I went with other people. I overtipped. So, so I ended up spending $150 there with the food and the tip. So that whole week I spent $250. And I felt like I wasted it. So, to make a long story short, but I can't remember what I was saying before I got all cut off. But but basically, let me just get into the tips of the things that you can do to make eating out affordable if you choose to eat out in the new year. Oh, I can't even go back to the page. But I know I think the first one I said was drink water. If you drink water, you will probably get fuller faster, but you'll also cut out unnecessary calories with other sugary drinks and alcohol. And plus, water is normally free, so you don't have to pay that extra money that you would pay for getting a drink. Now, I'm actually going to have to pause this so I can see what the rest of my list said. Okay, I'm back. I was able to look at the list. Then I said you need to either go alone or get separate checks. If I would have went and got separate checks on both of my places, I probably would have ended up spending either less than $100 or right at $100. So I would have cut the budget in half by not offering to just pay like I did. So go alone or get separate checks is very good, especially since you're probably not gonna eat as much as the other people. So you're really only getting like an app and a drink, and everybody else is getting an app, a drink, a meal, and you'll just end up overpaying. So go alone or get separate checks would be another good thing to implement when eating out. Also, if you're on a GLP-1 and you know that you're only eating like a third, a fourth, a half of what you normally eat, make sure you pick something that you'll be able to easily heat up, or something that'll last, or something that'll last when you take it home for leftovers. So that is a good one. I think I might have skipped one because before that one, I think I said eat apps or small plates. If you get an appetizer, you might want to substitute that appetizer for getting a meal. And if you do that, then possibly, the way these prices are set up, possibly you might be able to get a better deal. And if you get an app that's a smaller app, you might not necessarily have to worry about leftovers. Because I ordered a salad and I took the salad home, and when I went back to it the next day, it was all watery and the texture of the lettuce wasn't good. It just wasn't a good option to choose. So if you do choose to get a salad, you might just want to get a side salad or a smaller salad, something that can be consumed basically in one sitting, because sometimes you won't be able to eat these items again later, especially if it's a restaurant where they automatically put the dressing on there for you, then you probably won't be able to eat it at a later date. Also, see, now I didn't forget again what the last one was. Yes, the last one. The last one was, you might be able to save yourself a world of disappointment if you come in with now this might be something that only affects me, so this might not affect you, but realize that the food might not taste the way you remember it. And some of the items that I had just didn't quite taste the same. So I was a little disappointed. And to further add on, I was disappointed because I spent all that money. It's bad. It's different if you go somewhere and you don't necessarily enjoy it, but you don't spend that much money, so you just chalk it up as a loss. But if you go somewhere and spend a lot of money and it's not quite what you want it to be, I think that further adds to your disappointment. Like when I got that red velvet cake, even though red velvet is kind of like one of my favorites. Sorry, the alarm cut my recording off. But when I got that red velvet cake and it was dry, I was just totally disappointed. And I'm like, if your restaurant is based off of making cakes, it has cake in the name, and then the cake isn't good, that's just horrendous. And the fact that you're charging $17 for a piece of cake is damn near highway robbery in the first place. So the piece of cake that you get needs to be good. So I was disappointed that cake was dry, and I ended up throwing half of it away. So, if I do go back, I probably won't go back for like another year or so anyway, but I'm just very nostalgic. So I wanted to go back because that first picture that you saw of me was in the end of November of 2023. And then I had that other picture that you saw of me was from like January the 1st of 2025. And that was after I had lost like 40 pounds. So I kind of wanted to like commemorate me going there, because that was kind of like the catalyst that started it all. I saw that picture of me. Well, if you're new here, you might not know. But when I saw that picture of me that my friend took at the cake bake, I was like, oh my gosh, I look so bad. So that was kind of like the catalyst to me starting on my weight loss journey in the first place, which sounds ironic when I'm talking about spending $250 to eat out. But, you just got to take me as I am. But I've yapped long enough. Basically, you probably won't be able to avoid eating out, and you probably won't be able to avoid eating out with other people. But just remember to get separate checks. Order an app or try to get something small that you'll be able to finish. If you're not going to be able to finish what you ordered, then you want to choose something that can be easily reheated, that make good leftovers. And finally, you might need to already have in your mind that it might not taste exactly as you remembered it. So that is all. If you enjoyed my story, if you enjoyed my content, please remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And meet me back here next time for the next video. Thank you. Bye. Wait. Before we go, we are up to 53 subscribers. So I want to thank all of the new people who have decided to join us. So welcome, Titans. If you're an oldie but goodie, welcome back. I appreciate all of you guys. Please remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. As I just said, excuse me. But I just wanted to welcome the new people. So welcome.